Welcome to All About Arsenal, and in today's video we're going to be analysing the pros and cons of signing Martín Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. After the signing of Kepa Arrizabalaga, Arsenal has actually made their second signing official. This is one of the world's worst kept secrets because we had already heard that Arsenal was set to sign Martín Zubimendi. At some point there were some delays. At some point they were like, okay, Real Madrid is linked with him. But I think everyone was kind of relaxed, because what we heard eventually was that Sociedad were asking Arsenal to wait till July to make the signing official because they wanted the financials to reflect on their books for the month of July. And of course, that's what happened. So we're just going to take a deep dive into the Maestro himself, how he will fit at Arsenal. Then we'll take a while to talk about his pros. And of course, we're going to talk about his cons. Then make our final decision whether it was a smart move or an expensive gamble. So let's start with the basics. Martín Zubimendi is a 26-year-old Spanish international who is well known for his composure, his positioning, and his excellent distribution of the ball. He's basically been compared to Sergio Busquets, one of the best DMs to ever play the beautiful game. He has a very, very calm presence about him, which also helps with his composure, and his tactical intelligence is second to none. He works basically as a holding midfielder, and he's very, very good at breaking up plays. His positioning is excellent. He has this brilliant off-the-ball movement that allows him to work intelligently in between lines, making himself available to receive passes from his teammates, especially the defenders. And one of his key traits is that he initiates attacks with accurate and progressive passes. One lovely thing about Zubimendi as well is that his awareness and timing makes him difficult to press, and is usually a starting point for Sociedad's build-up. He played his entire career in Real Sociedad, breaking into the C team in 2016, before moving to the B team in 2017, then of course the first team in 2019. And one key thing about him being in the second team was that when he was in the B team in 2017, his manager was Xabi Alonso. When he spoke about him during the Nations League, when Spain narrowly lost to Portugal on penalties. In 7 full seasons with Real Sociedad, Martín Zubimendi made 236 appearances and scored 14 goals. So the question would be, how does Zubimendi fit at Arsenal right now? He is someone that slots in into the anchor role. So what we would expect from Zubimendi would be a player that would always be just in front of the centre-backs to receive the ball before progressing the play. And due to the fact that he is very good with intelligent passes, we might not necessarily see Odegaard drop too deep to receive balls anymore, even though he has a knack for doing that. Someone like Zubimendi will play very well alongside Declan Rice, and his presence will give us now much more control when it comes to building up play and allowing midfielders to push higher up the pitch. Zubimendi is a player that dictates tempo, very good at shielding the back line, and he links up play very smoothly. He's someone that is going to add consistency and balance to Arsenal's midfield. And Arsenal really needs that balance because if you recall, Thomas Partey and Jorginho have left the club, leaving a massive void in the defensive midfield role. But with Christian Noga potentially coming and Zubimendi already confirmed, they are very, very good replacements, very elite replacements. So tactically, he will fit into the number 6 position at Arsenal, allowing Declan Rice to continue his box-to-box role. That will give Arsenal much control against weaker teams. However, against high-pressing opponents, his lack of athleticism and vertical passing might be exposed. So the next couple of slides, we're going to talk about the pros of signing Martín Zubimendi as well as the cons. So let's start with the pros. He has elite defensive awareness. Zubimendi is actually rightly compared to Busquets because of the way he reads the game exceptionally well. He averages 2 to 3 interceptions every game, like every game for Sociedad. He was someone who has a very high defensive IQ and is very good in intercepting the ball and recovering possession with minimal fouling. He's one player that doesn't just dive into the ground to make tackles like Idrissa Gueye or Baleba or DMs like that. His own style is more of using his IQ to intelligently intercept the play and of course recover possession. So with him, we'll have loads of turnovers. Another pro of Martín Zubimendi is the fact that he's very composed under pressure. The man has like ice running through his veins. Like he's rarely flustered when he's pressed by one player, two players, three players. He always knows how to jiggle his way out of any challenge from a player and find a safe pass. That's a very key feat to have as a defensive midfielder, because if you're a defensive midfielder that is fidgety and you lose the ball in the heart of the midfield, you are prone to a counter attack. So Arsenal is signing a player that has very, very good composure on the ball, has the ability to receive the ball from a Saliba or a Gabriel or even a Rice, and knows what he needs to do with it. Zubimendi has positional discipline. He is one of those anchor midfielders that hardly goes out of position. He's always available for a pass. Because of the fact that he's an anchor midfielder, he would have easy links to the Dryer for a straight pass. He would also have the links to Saliba, to Gabriel, or whoever is playing in centre back, probably Kivio or Mosquera. And of course, he can also make himself available for the fullbacks. So he's someone that will receive the ball a whole lot because of the fact that he has that positional discipline. And it also helps his teammates to know that, okay, at every point in time, when you look at that defensive half space, Zubimendi will be there to receive the ball and progress the play. Zubimendi has amazing ball retention skills. He has averaged close to 90% in almost his 7 seasons in Real Sociedad, which shows that he's very, very reliable in possession. Whether it's a short pass or a long one, he is a player that knows how to hold the game very well, detect the player he wants to feed the ball to, and he wastes no time in progressing the ball well. He is someone that progresses the ball very fast, and that will really help with Arsenal's transition play. So let's talk about Zubimendi's potential cons. The first con is the fact that he's unproven in the Premier League and might require some adaptation. As we know, he has played his entire career in Spain, and the Premier League is very notorious for its pace and physicality. Because of the fact that the Premier League is very fast and very physical and more transitional than La Liga, Zubimendi might struggle. He has the ability to actually do very well, but the potential exists that he might actually struggle, especially with those high presses. Look at teams like Newcastle, when you have the likes of Bruno G and Tonali hitting on you, or McAllister and Gravenberg. So he's going to actually get exposed to playing in a very, very fast-paced league that is very unforgiving. And obviously, we are seeing players like Declan Rice thrive in that kind of intensity because of the fact that Declan Rice is a West Ham player or a Chelsea player that went to West Ham. So he's basically a Premier League player through and through. But someone like Zubimendi, we need to adapt to the pace of the league. And hopefully it's not be a challenge for us now. Another con to me is his limited creativity. Well, this is a bit harsh. Bear in mind that he's a holding midfielder. But when you think of players like Andrea Pirlo in the past, they were like registers who created a lot of chances. Despite the fact that he's a holding midfielder, his numbers in terms of attacking output aren't so much. It's very modest return. Declan Rice cost the club £105 million, and you can see the kind of output he has given to the club, despite the fact that he actually came in as a holding midfielder. But when he moved into the box-to-box role, you could see the amount of goals and assists and creativity that he has come into play. So unlike Zubimendi, we should not expect much from him in terms of output. He might come in with the odd goal here and there, but that's just what it's going to be. But he's going to be that player that will just give it to the Odegaards, to the Rices, who will now go ahead and create more. So we should not really expect much from him. Another potential con is his role redundancy, in the sense that, yes, he's a good ball-winning midfielder and he has the discipline, but he's somewhat similar to Declan Rice. Declan Rice can actually do that same job. And that's needs someone that can actually break the lines and create more. They might have to be distinct positions on the pitch, but Declan Rice can actually do his job if required. I'm guessing that in some kind of games where Arsenal really need to break low blocks, if you have someone like Eze, there could be matches where Arsenal will play Eze and Odegaard as the 8 and Rice as the 6, and to remain required to go to the bench in games like that. So the fact that there's someone that can actually do his job and is actually more agile and more athletic than him makes him a bit redundant. So in games where we need to control play, hold up play, he will come in handy. But when the tides are turned, when Arsenal needs to actually attack again, we might not necessarily have both Rice and Zubimendi on the pitch. Then he might become a player that may be sacrificed for a more attacking player to break those low blocks. And you're paying over 50 million for that. Another con I potentially look at is his lack of match-winning qualities. There are times when you need players that can just tilt games for you, whether it's through an incisive through ball, or a late run to the box, or a goal from distance. Zubimendi is more like a specialist in control, but he's not as decisive in crunch moments. Someone like him, I don't necessarily give us that spark we need when we want to take a game by the scruff of his neck. So on one hand, Zubimendi gives us calmness, he gives us control, he gives us a defensive structure to work with. But on the other hand, he's not as creative as we expect, and he might not be able to help us break those kind of low block defenses, those stubborn defenses that have no plans of playing football when they come against Arsenal. And there's also a potential for him not to adapt to play well in the league. However, I'm still very excited with this move. He's someone that was heavily sought after by the likes of Real Madrid, by the likes of Manchester City, by the likes of Liverpool, but he chose Arsenal. And I'm very certain that we're going to enjoy the benefits of having him in our club. But what do you guys think? Will Zubimendi be the missing piece in our midfield, or will it be a sign that we'll regret? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.